Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making very quick jollof using the Atare Jollof Now sauce, which is a pre-made jollof sauce. So I'm going to be cooking 6 cups. I've already washed my rice, so this should be very quick. I'm gonna start by pouring in my jollof now. Muscle. Okay. I'm just gonna pour that in. I think this is a big jar, so if you're using a small jar, you need 2 of the small jars, and this big jar I believe can cook about 8 cups, but I'm only doing 6 cups because we don't need that much jollof rice. Okay, so my sauce is in the pot. I'm going to use equivalent amount of water or stock. I have some stock, so I'm just going to pour that in. So I'm doing 6 cups of stock. Doing wrist exercise. Okay, I'm just going to stir this, and honestly you can throw your rice in, but I'm extra, so I'm going to bring it to a boil before I throw my rice in. Why do you have to bring it to a boil? It helps because if you put the rice in, everything is cold, right? So the sauce is cold and the broth is cold. If you put the rice in, it kind of like starts to cook at the bottom, and then you can't really like perfectly control for temperature. So I like to bring it to a boil. That way it's already going, and then I throw my rice in, then I mix everything and set my timer. Okay, so it's been about 10ish minutes and my stock is, or my mix is boiling, and this is where you just want to give it a good stir, and then you want to taste and adjust for seasoning. So remember, jollof now doesn't come pre-salted or with anything like that, so usually you have to add your own salt, Maggi, just based on the seasoning in your stock. So I'm just going to do a quick taste test just the way my mother taught me. Okay, and then I'm going to add in just a little bit of salt and mustard cube just to kind of balance the flavor out. Stir that in, and now I'm going to stir in my already washed rice. So like I said, I'm using Stella basmati. You can definitely use regular parboiled rice, or you can use jasmine rice if that's your thing. Whatever kind of rice you prefer. I'm using Stella basmati today, and I'm just going to stir it in. Now, usually you want to cover this pot with foil, and that is just to create like a really good seal. The secret to good jollof is steam. It is not by boiling it. You want to steam the rice and infuse each grain with the jollof stock. So that is why it's important that you use a pot that has good, lid, but also you cover it with foil. But I find that this pot actually doesn't need foil, so I'm not going to be using foil. I'm just going to cover it like so. I'm also reducing my heat to about 3, and then I'm just going to love it and leave it alone for the next 30ish minutes. So it's been 30 minutes. We're just going to check on our jollof. It looks ready. I'm just going to give it a stir. Yeah. And this is where you can add any kind of extras or fixings that you want. So if you want to add in some fresh chopped onions or fresh tomatoes or even some butter, this is the time to do that. To add in anything, any extras at all that you might want to add into your jollof. Other than that, your jollof rice is ready. So this took me, I don't know, 2-3 minutes of prep time, and then we're good to go. Oh, and just a tip, if you're cooking with cast iron retains heat like a lot. So if you've gotten to a point where jollof is ready and you don't want it to continue to cook or soften, make sure that you don't leave it covered, because if you leave it covered, it will actually continue to soften your jollof rice. But jollof now combined, rice is good to go. Jollof is going to be served with some ribs. It's going to serve it like so. This pot will feed, I don't know, 10-15 people, depending on how hungry you get. But that is it. It is hot, but I have a fridge in my mouth. Perfect. Just perfect.